The president posted an AI video of himself announcing a new program that would give all Americans access to a secret medical technology that can reverse aging, cure any disease, and regrow limbs. And I can attest it's real. I did it last week, but I think I did it wrong. Thanks for nothing, President Trump. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. If you're on social media at all, you know that AI slop is everywhere, and we all have to watch out for it. I can't tell you the number of times I've had an Instagram model slide into my DMs, only to later find out she's AI. The most recent example was Svetlana. She messaged me and said, "Hi, cutie," and I said, "Hey there, are you a fan of late night comedy?" And she said, "What's your social security number?" And I said, "Ooh, I love when you play hard to get." And then I gave it to her, and long story short, I'm poor now, but hey. It happens to all of us. We're all susceptible to hoaxes and scams, like this gullible young man.
President Trump shares what is apparently an AI video of himself promoting fake medical technology.
It features a rendering of the president speaking. You hear a version of his voice, and it's supposed to resemble a Fox News segment featuring his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. So presumably the president knows he never actually uttered these words.
Does he? I would not assume that. Trump seems like the kind of guy who would watch an AI video of himself and then demand his staff explain why they didn't tell him about the thing he obviously already knows about. Do you know how embarrassing it is when I have to hear it from me? I mean, I'm not sure he's aware of any of the words he's saying as he's saying them. Like last week when he called a press conference to push a false link between autism and acetaminophen, and when he got to that word in his script, he reacted to it like he accidentally wandered into the international section at the supermarket.
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen.
You called the press conference. There wasn't a meeting beforehand where you at least heard the word? I mean, whenever there's a word that long in a closer look, we have an all-hands-on-deck meeting where they say it to me, and then I say it back, and then they say it again, and then we change it to something easier. I also love how Trump has no filter. He can't even hide the fact that he's never seen it before. He just sounds it out loud in front of the cameras. It's like watching a baseball player walk up to the plate and say, "Okay, now let's see, what do we do with this big wooden stick?" Which would never happen, of course, unless, you're at a Mets game. You guys... The Mets got eliminated from playoff contention yesterday on the last day of the season after the 3.5-month-long collapse, which means that was officially our final Mets joke of the year.
Final Mets joke of the year.
Don't worry, by the way, we're going to be fine because we just move on to Jets jokes. Can you imagine how painful it is to be a fan of the Mets and the Jets? I mean... You must need a lifetime supply of...
acetaminophen.
And, by the way, if you're wondering who is a fan of both the Mets and the Jets, the answer is every member of my crew. The last few weeks here have been so weird because they keep saying, "Can you believe this?" And then I say, "You mean how the free speech of late night hosts is under attack?" And then they say, "Yeah." Yeah, that. So Trump shared an AI video of himself, which is bad enough, but the actual content of the video is even more befuddling. Just watch this CNN anchor's reaction to the story.
On Saturday, President Trump shared what was apparently an artificially created video of a Fox News segment where an AI version of himself promoted a cure-all medbed conspiracy. That video has now been deleted. Let's bring in CNN chief media analyst Brian Stelter. Brian, what does this all mean? What is this?
This is what Trump has done to our journalist. She sounds like she just walked in the door and discovered her 5-year-old drew all over the walls, but in perfect cursive. What does this mean? What is this? Where did you learn how to do this? The video Trump shared is about the so-called medbed conspiracy theory. And if you don't know what that is, congratulations on being a sane person. Here is CNN's explanation.
This idea has been popular in QAnon conspiracy theory circles for years, and it asserts that elites have access to secret healing technology that's been kept from the public. Now, the video that Trump shared claimed that these so-called med beds will soon be available for everyone.
That's right. Trump shared a fake video about a secret healing technology called a medbed. And my question is, if medbed exists, why hasn't Trump used one? You're going to tell me this pic is post-medbed? Does he think... Is it possible that he thinks a med bed is a George Foreman grill. If anyone needs me, I'm gonna stick my head in the med bed for a few minutes. It only takes a few minutes to rejuvenate my skin and cook a frozen burrito at the same time. So Trump posted an AI video of himself uttering words he never said to announce a fake policy that doesn't exist. Now, we've talked about this video a lot so far, but you be the judge. Tell me you wouldn't fall for a slick, super realistic video like this one.
Breaking now. President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first MedBed hospitals and a national MedBed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own MedBed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength.
The president thought that was a real thing he did in real life. He saw this video and thought he had announced a real plan to, quote, restore every citizen to full health and strength, like we're all video game characters. I'm announcing today that every citizen will live inside a handheld electronic device called a Tamagotchi, and whenever they get hungry, we will restore them to full health and strength by feeding them a lollipop or a pineapple. And we'll all smile and do a little dance. Now, if you are someone who saw that video and thought it was real, I would just like to say to you, my name is Seth Meyers, and I have a very exciting opportunity for you. If you send me $100,000 in Bitcoin, I will give you secret access to my own personal med bed. This is very real and not AI. Just look at the words coming out of my mouth. For more information, you can DM me at SexMyersXXX69. The truly scary thing is that the president does not seem to know the difference between fiction and reality. Over the weekend, for example, Trump threatened to send troops to, quote, war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Now, if you actually live in Portland, you know the only war there is the war between two rival kombucha places on the same block. One is called Yes We Kombucha, and the other one is called Let's Get Fizz-a-Cool. The point is there's no war or attack going on in Portland, and when the governor of Oregon informed Trump of that, he had a somewhat unnerving response.
We're learning more about the back and forth between President Trump and Oregon's governor. Governor Tina Kotek says she spoke with the president on Saturday.
President Trump told NBC he had a phone call with Kotek that showed him a different perspective, saying, quote, I spoke to the governor. She was very nice. But I said, well, wait a minute. Am I watching things on television that are different from what's happening?
Yeah, man, we all are. The difference is a lot of us have the critical thinking skills to suss out what's real and what's not. Like, there used to be this show that portrayed you as a brilliant businessman that could turn Meatloaf into a CEO, but we all know that in reality you tried to sell steaks in an electronics store and you couldn't keep a casino open. A casino! That's like a mugger losing money. But hey, it's great he's finally catching on. He's like a golden retriever realizing that just because the tennis ball rolled behind the couch doesn't mean it's gone forever. Wait a second. Well, wait a second. You're telling me the ball is still there? I just can't see it? Whoa. So Trump shared an AI video of himself promising a secret healing technology. By the way, there is a secret healing technology that elites have access to. It's called health insurance. And our government really could give everyone access to it if they wanted to. Instead, the White House is fighting with Democrats over health care cuts and threatening to shut the government down.
Time is running out to avert a government shutdown. Last night, we learned that President Trump is expected to meet with the top Republican and Democratic congressional leaders at the White House. Democrats are dug in on opposing anything that cuts health care for millions of Americans, while the Trump White House is threatening mass firings if the government shuts down.
A shutdown looks likely at this point, based on my conversation this morning with President Trump. He says both sides are at a stalemate. Democrats want to extend health care subsidies that were part of the Affordable Care Act. President Trump told me, quote, I just don't know how we are going to solve this issue.
President Trump said, quote, I just don't know how we're going to solve this issue, but I do know that every American will be receiving a magic MedBed card that will restore them to full health and make them 17 years old again, but with the wisdom of a grown adult so they can go back in time and avoid all the mistakes they made in their 20s. And also, Every man in America will have 5 arms and a 12-inch penis. And it will only cost $5. We're calling it the $5 footlong program. I saw it on TV, so it must be real. You guys, Republicans control everything in Washington. But if the government shuts down, Republicans want you to know it is the Democrats' fault.
We don't want to shut down the government, Martha, but it's really up to the Democrats.
Yeah, it's up to the Democrats. You think the president has magical, unlimited powers to do whatever he wants? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to hop in my bed and turn myself into a baby again. I love how these guys claim the power to unilaterally impose tariffs and bomb countries and send troops into American cities, but claim they can't keep the government open when their party controls everything. It's like the Mets spending $340 million on their payroll, then saying, you actually expect us to hit that tiny white ball? I promise you, that really was our final Mets joke.
Mets joke. Meet the Mets.
Of course, it's difficult to negotiate with someone when you can't even agree on a shared set of facts. It's increasingly clear the president does not inhabit the same reality as the rest of us. He sees AI videos on Truth Social or clips on Fox News and thinks they're real. And if it gives him a headache, he can't even take
Acetaminophen.
Ben, a closer look.